Next reaction, Nas featuring 21 Savage, One Mic, One Gun. Let's get into it.
Uncle Reem on the beats.
Yeah, hey yo, the haters want me to stop, but it'll never cease. Ain't nobody fucking with Reem, cause he a beast. Bars or otherwise, I ain't none of these other guys. Shopping the gym stop, y'all duller than butter knives. Represent that.
So, the Nas 21 Savage debacle originated when there was a discussion on Clubhouse that included 21 Savage. Somehow it was brought up something about Nas's new album, The King's Disease, Part 3, which is, by the way, a really good album. Everybody should go check it out when they get the chance, if they have not. However, something was brought up about it and how good it is, and the question was somehow posited to 21 Savage as to whether or not Nas is relevant today. 21 Savage's response was that although Nas still makes good music and he has a loyal fan base, his music does well, not so much out of him being relevant today, but just out of his loyal fan base continuing to support his good music. He stated that he didn't feel that Nas was relevant, and immediately, as you can guess, everybody jumped on him. Mainly the older hip-hop fans who lived through the golden era. They were the main ones to pretty much go at 21 Savage. Many who had not even heard the Clubhouse discussion. When I first heard it, I didn't want to jump to a conclusion because I know typically people get taken out of context and misconstrued. The first thing I heard about it was Nas's brother Jungle. He made a tweet pretty much going at 21 Savage for what he perceived as disrespect. I personally didn't take it as disrespect. I felt that the fact that he mentioned that Nas still makes good music lets me know that I felt the context that he meant it in was not to say that Nas wasn't relevant to his fans or to older hip-hop listeners, but he was pretty much I think he was speaking more in the context of people his age, the younger artists, not even just the younger artists, but the younger consumer. Normally, the artists that are promoted by the record labels, nowadays it's promoted by all these corporations and things of that nature. Their music is pushed on the masses. That's what, a current generation would consider relevant. I think he meant along those lines that is Nas pretty much popping like Drake is nowadays? No, he not. Entertainment in general is directed towards and geared towards the young. And relevance in an entertainment sector usually is based on the way you're received by the younger consumers because they constitute the masses of the mainstream. This is just a fact. This is what I believe 21 Savage meant. Nas initially didn't say anything. He just remained silent about it. And they just allowed everybody to jump to conclusions and everybody to speak their mind or their truth or whatever you want to call it about the situation. But a surprise came out of left field. Like two kings, two gentlemen, two men with maturity, apparently they came together and they discussed it. And what did we get out of it? The hip-hop fans got a single out of it called One Mic, One Gun, which is Nas featuring 21 Savage. So I'm about to react to that right now. Let's go.
Ain't no back and forth, ain't no left or right. I got King's disease, but I move like a knight. Rappers bandwagon trying to get...
Okay. Ain't no back and forth, ain't no left or right. I got King's disease, but I move like a knight. I love that reference because I'm a chess player, so instantly, I'm straight. Let's get it.
Like, when you turn a legend, no such thing as relevance.
Instantly, he addresses the elephant in the room. When you turn a legend, ain't no such thing as relevance. That's him clearing up his context of what he meant when he said Nas is not relevant. And see, one thing about 21 Savage, a lot of people got to realize, a lot of people assume that he a mumble rapper and he's your typical ignorant young mumble rapping artist who just on the street stuff and don't have no intellect to him or no hip hop history or knowledge behind him about what's going on. But if you follow his interviews and you paid attention to 21 Savage, instantly that's quash. I suggest everybody to go watch 21 Savage's interview with Mav Hoffa. You'll see what I'm talking about. He's very intelligent. Also, I've noticed instances where he paid homage to the golden era. I remember one Halloween he dressed like Rakim. And a lot of the members of the Gods and Earths, the 5%ers, they got upset at him because he put the universal flag, but that was the same universal flag that Rakim wore, and he was just paying homage to Rakim, and a lot of people jumped on him at that time. I remember him and Travis Scott and the Migos had their song Ghostface Killers, Wu-Tang, 21 News Gang. They was really paying homage essentially to Wu-Tang Clan. They was paying homage to Ghostface Killer. So they paying homage to they OGs, but they just do it in their own way.
I forgot that I'm a new rapper that got integrity. 21. All in the media and blogs, that's just a place I don't care to be. 21. They was ahead of me.
Right. See, and right there he's saying he don't want to be in the media and the blogs because that's what happens when you say stuff in the media and the blogs. Your words get miscontextualized and misconstrued. And when you try to give your opinion or give your take on something, everybody want to jump on you. Everybody want to cancel you. Everybody's so hypersensitive. Like Jay-Z say, sensitive thugs, y'all all need hugs. Ain't no back and forth. I did it back then, I do it right now. Go with all the success from negative press, I'm watching it pow. They saying that black music dying, I'm saying they right by the South. Right. So he had to make an OG move. He say, I'm watching the negative press pow. That means he ain't responding to it. He just watching it. He gonna embrace the youngin'. He gonna get a youngin' props, and they gonna have a discussion, and they not gonna attack each other publicly. Cause mind you, 21 Savage, after the situation, he apologized immediately. He never publicly attacked Nas or anybody. He instantly they had the discussion. That just go to show you that's what men do. But look at me now, damn y'all, look at me now. I shook up the town, I shook up the city, I shook up the states. I'm with 21 on my second run, this shit come with age. Right, I'm with 21 on my second run. This shit come with age. And I love he addressing that question as well, because as a hip hop artist myself, it get on my damn nerves when everybody be like, well, older rappers, OG rappers, we like to butter people jokes, when you older and you still rap. We the butter people jokes. And it seemed like that's the only art form that people do that with. It's hip hop. They don't do that with R&B. They don't do that with other genres of music. They don't do that with other art forms like art on canvas or journalism or writing in books or acting. They do it with hip hop. And to me, it really mostly manifests as an attack against black men, because if this is our chosen art form, this is the medium that we like to express ourselves through. Why should we be limited by our age to want to continue to produce that art form? So that's a touchy subject for me, and I'm glad that Nas is addressing it and that they bridging that gap between the old and the young. It's a conversation, it's determination. Did my tour with the Woo, I came back and I set the pace. Did this tour with the Woo. Man, if you missed that, man, you missed an excellent concert. Nas, Wu-Tang. Some states or cities it was with Busta Rhymes as well. The New York State of Mind tour. Man, excellent tour. Two Caucasians on part of their faces. Most of y'all assume that they was black as exploitation. Be mainstream, I'd rather be timeless. That's if we keep it in peak. Says cool to be mainstream. I'd rather be timeless.
21. I'm on that same trajectory. Bullet wounds in jail cells couldn't stop me. This my destiny. Niggas sneeze around me, wipe his nose, don't get no bless from me.
Oh, 21. Ooh, what Nas bring out of 21? Oh, he got 21 spitting. Let's go.
Fuck the jury, I'd rather buy land and invest successfully. I got all type of stocks and bonds, can hit they Wiley on my wall and I'ma pass it to my son. It's savage like the capo, that mean Escobar the Don.
What?
One mic, one gun.
Let's go. Let's go. He said savage like the capo, that mean Escobar the Don. One mic, one gun. Oh man. If you watch mob flicks, you know, the capo, that's the under. I think that's the underboss and the Don is the boss. So he let you know. This my OG. You get me? I'm on the same trajectory. I'm on that same thing he on. Y'all misconstruing my words and don't even realize this a cat I look up to. For real. Man, y'all ain't listening.
My net worth like 8 figures. I'm working on getting me 9. You know that I'm one of them niggas. I ain't doing no capping the line. I ain't going against no legend, nigga. I'm trying to be next in line.
Yes, sir. And that's what it's about right there. Studying the legends. That don't mean you can't have an opinion if somebody asks you a question in an interview or in a discussion. 21 Savage, like he said, I'm worth 8 figures. You know, I'm working on being worth 9 figures. 21 been around for a minute, man. He been around for a few years. He was platinum before he even got signed. So what he's saying is his contribution and his time he spent in the game and his smart moves and maneuvers should at least afford him an opinion on the topic of hip hop. Because regardless of what a lot of you old heads, and I'm an old head myself, but some of you old heads don't show love or respect for these youth. And you know, these youth are the youth we made. We made them, those of us who was in the streets. A lot of us was in the streets. I include myself in that because I was a part of that culture, and that was a destructive culture. 21, he represent their offspring. This current generation, this the offspring. These are the crack babies that our generation contributed to making. Not saying 21 Savage himself is that, but I'm saying his generation is largely comprised of that. A lot of them is sipping lean, doing pills, doing a bunch of stuff. A lot of them was born addicts because of us, because of our generation. So who are we to sit and criticize that generation, especially when they start making moves, start getting intelligent, using intelligence, making wise decisions business-wise. They should be able to have an opinion just like we do in this thing called hip-hop. Because hip-hop started with our forefathers. And if you look at 80s hip-hop, 80s hip-hop was a lot like hip-hop right now. You know, they talked about partying. They didn't really, a lot of people want to, be revisionist historians and say hip-hop started out, it was about knowledge, consciousness. No, it didn't start out with consciousness. The first big hip-hop act was the Sugar Hill Gang. Go back and listen to Rapper's Delight if you think I'm BSing. Go back and listen to some of them 80s songs. People like Curtis Blow. What is Blow? Blow is sniff. You get what I'm saying? You go back and listen to, White Lines, Grandmaster Flash. Even though they were a conscious group, but most of the people doing hip hop back then, it was not a conscious thing. It was mostly parties, them throwing parties, breakdancing, emceeing the parties, having fun. They was, they came right behind disco, and we know what disco was about. And a lot of them had that same direction that disco had from its inception. It eventually evolved into consciousness, which it should have, And even the main conscious influence, some of the conscious influences that prefigure the consciousness, people like African Bambaataa. If you look at his history, his history ain't so bright. If you want to be, if you want to start judging people, so at least let's say 21 Savage, his contribution to the game should at least afford him the opportunity to have an opinion. Let's continue. And I want to keep breaking it up because I don't want to get hit with a copyright strike.
They acting like I just popped. I was platinum before I signed. I went platinum without no features. I put platinum on your mind. They want to see me flip so they could deport me like I'm shine. No back and forth. I did it back then. I do it right now.
They said they want him to flip so they can deport him like he shine. That's right. That's what they want. They want to deport that man. They've been wanting to deport him for a minute. So he doing the right thing to not flip out and not be his normal self, because that's what might happen if he does.
They telling me that I'm the GOAT. I've been here for a while. Go, love me today. Hate me tomorrow. No switching my style. 21 yet. Y'all get together. Be big for the South. Whatever I do is New York. You hear that shit all in my vowels. I shook up the town. I shook up the city. I shook up the state. Two kings. We send a love to the whole culture. 21 esco. Mass appeal. Slaughter gang. This shit too easy.
Man, so that's that. Let me know in the comments what y'all think about this very unlikely collaboration. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Check out some of my other content. Peace.